Yeah, that's good with traffic. I'm gonna do the prayer.
Call the meeting of Walnut Creek Special Utility District to order at 4:01 p.m. Let the record show that 4 board members present. Time of this meeting is duly called. Notice of the meeting has been posted in accordance with Government Meetings Act. This is Government Chapter 551. You'll lead us in a great shoe.
Thank you, Lord, for this day. Just thank you for letting us all come together, Lord, and let us all try to get along and all try to get to where that we can help the customers, Lord, and let us all just get along. Amen.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, on the open forum, we have 3 individuals that have signed up to speak. 2 have identified agenda items for which they want to speak on, and the 3rd has, Jane, do you want to speak in the open session and on the reports?
Yes, sir.
Next speak. Yes, ma'am.
Be brief. Galvin, 128 Clayton Crossing, Springtown, Texas. And I have something to hand out to the board members. Yeah. I just put it in this place.
Yeah.
I'll give you mine. So I want to commend Walnut Creek for improving the board meeting guidelines on your webpage to include that speakers are allowed 5 minutes and number 2, as well as 3 minutes to speak on agenda items. However, number 4, demeaning any individual or group, including insulting the honesty, etc. One of the things that y'all need to also add is per Government Code 551.007 is the fact that the public, a governmental body may not prohibit public criticism of the governmental body, including criticism of any act, omission, policy, procedure, program, or service. This subsection does not apply to public criticism that is otherwise prohibited by law. This has been upheld by the Supreme Court of the United States. Rules must be viewpoint neutral, but as the U.S. Supreme Court has said, giving offense is a viewpoint. So it would be very much appreciated if you would include that subsection into the board information, because it goes both ways. So I commend you for changing that, but I'd also request that you update it to include the entire subsection. Mr. DeGear, thank you very much. That's all I have.
Thank you. On the consent agenda, of the minutes, approval of monthly investment reports, approval of the income expense reports, and approval of the billing report. I have a motion to accept the consent agenda.
Oh, yeah.
Motion to last month for number of.
Do you have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Thank you. Moving on to the general session, item A, consideration and or action to move forward with joining the WFPUA. We have two individuals who have signed up to speak during this time on the agenda, three, I'm sorry. So, want to draw straws, or how would you like to do this?
No, go ahead. I'll speak last.
Good afternoon, Board. President, thank you for having us in today. My name is Rodney Holmes. I'm the mayor for the city of Boyd. I'm also a member of the Wise County Mayor's Coalition. And I just wanted to give you a little bit of history of where the PUA came from and things like that. About 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, the Wise County mayors came together and decided to try to solve some of the problems that we were having in our individual cities through a regional effort. We have some interlocal agreements that we put in place. City of Boyd provides police services to New Fairview. New Fairview supplies court services to us. Rome supplies police services to Aurora as such. Right after that, County Judge J.D. Clark had a water symposium at the Decatur Conference Center and invited all the entities to discuss our water issues in Wise County. They had a study done by Friesen Nichols for the Upper Trinity Groundwater Conservation District that showed in a nutshell that Wise County is number 3 in the state of Texas out of 254 counties for new wells being dug over the last 4 or 5 years. We can't continue that. If that continues, by the year 2040 or so, wells are going to start going dry. And we at the Mayor's Coalition realized that the wells that were going to start going dry the first were the ones that have been here the longest. And those are the people that we needed to protect in the unincorporated county, even though they weren't inside the cities. So we came together, got with Wise County, got with Upper Trinity Groundwater Conservation District, tried to form the Wise Regional Water District through the legislature. There was almost 9,000 bills filed in the legislature, not very many passed, like less than 2,000. Ours was one that got caught up in calendars and did not get passed. But our second option was to form a public utility agency. There's only one that we know of existing in the state of Texas right now that's filed legally, and that's in the western Travis County. What happened there is they had a water provider that basically went bankrupt. So all of the cities in the county and everybody got together, got bonds, bought all the infrastructure and everything. Our PUA is a little different because we're starting from scratch. But what we have done is we have had 15 entities that were interested, 14 entities that passed it, y'all being the ones that you had some questions about it. We passed a like ordinance to get it passed, and we don't have to have legislative approval or anything. Basically what this does is it allows us, it's basically a water district. We are modeled after the Upper Trinity Regional Water District in Denton County, who has been in existence since 1989 and has done a phenomenal job on providing water, surface water to Denton County and the surrounding areas. Basically, what we're looking to do is the same thing. You know, we met with Tarrant Regional Water District, their board, and they basically told us that they weren't going to deal with any one entity, that they wanted to deal with only a regional entity. Well, that is the Public Utility Agency. And they came back and said, yes, we will work on a contract with you guys. Here's what we're looking for. We gave them the numbers. I think your general manager and y'all included your numbers in that also. So basically what I'm here for today is to answer any questions and give you my personal reasoning of why it would be beneficial to your customers to join the PUA, because this PUA is basically going to be another supply of water for you guys from Tarrant Regional Water District. They have basically said that they have no water to supply anybody out of Lake Bridgeport, that it would have to come out of Eagle Mountain, but it's basically not coming out of Eagle Mountain. It will be coming out of Richland Chambers and Cedar Creek Lake in East Texas. They will pump that water up to Lake Brentbrook through their new 96-inch pipeline, and then they will pump it into Eagle Mountain. So So that is one of the options that we're looking at with them. We also are looking at hopefully Upper Trinity Regional Water District. Maybe we can get some water out of the new Lake Ralph Hall. That would be another option. The answer to our problems, and y'all know that, is it's not one entity supply. It's going to be a supply of everything, whether that's rainwater capture, surface water. But we've got to bring more surface water into Wise County to protect our wells now that we have. If something happens and this doesn't happen, and the PUA doesn't happen, because the first board meeting is going to be in January, which is going to, but you guys have a huge CCN in Wise County. And as people's wells start going dry, they have to have an option to be able to get surface water. And because you guys have the CCN, you would be able to supply that. This PUA would give you another option to provide more water to them. I know there has been some talk and some questions about wastewater being included in the order or ordinance. That's in there because that is in chapter 572 of the local government code, which says water and wastewater can be provided by a public utility agency. And that's the only reason it's in the ordinance. Wastewater is not on the plan in the immediate, near future, or anything for the PUA to provide. The Mayor's Coalition, which is separate from the PUA, if the cities want to get together and do a regional study and maybe provide a regional solution to wastewater for like the cities of Paradise and stuff that don't have it, Aurora, that would be done strictly through the cities, and it would be limited to the cities only. Would not be limited to would not be provided to the unincorporated county. I mean, we're like you, we don't want the MUDs and developments out of the unincorporated county. We would rather keep those in the city. And that's our plan on that. So with that, I'm here to answer any questions that you may have.
Tell me again where the water's coming from.
The water would come from Richland Chambers and Cedar Creek Lake in East Texas and would be pumped up to Lake Benbrook through the new pipeline and then from Benbrook into Eagle Mountain. That's what the general manager, the head of the board of directors for Tarrant Regional Water District explained to us.
Those lines are in place, or are they to be built in?
No, the lines are in place. They're already able to pump water from those two lakes in East Texas up to Eagle Mountain.
Doing it?
Yeah.
At 90% capacity right now. Meaning there would have to be another reservoir that we built. I actually went to Austin and spoke with the ECQ and also spoke with Tarrant Regional Water District.
Do you have that right?
I got it.
We all spoke with them as a group.
I got
they had it.
I have
Plenty of water for us, so.
I have the phone calls and recording. They say otherwise. From the two agencies, they said that what you were saying that they won't do business with any other one district. They actually said that if we went incorporated in an agreement with Springtown and we can expand their water district.
That's a regional effort. So they will deal with a regional effort on that.
Right, and they said that would be a much quicker process and we would get our water. It's also seen as that they are only using 60% of their capacity.
But I spoke with Springtown City Administrator and been told that they're not interested.
I spoke with the mayor, who says otherwise.
Well, again, it'd be like Parker County. Parker County's just now having their water system. They tried to join our water district, but their cities don't get along over there. It was two of their commissioners and Phil King that tried to join our Wise Regional Water District at the legislature. And we decided to try to keep it only in Wise County. Told them if we had extra water, we would sell them, but didn't want it to get too big too quick. So we didn't allow them to join. So they're 3 years behind us. So any new regional entity that starts will be 3 years behind trying to get water signed up for it.
Right, and then even the leadership that's also with Wise PUA, they said that the funding won't come until 2029, a fall.
No,
That's what they spoke to on the meeting, the guy that was even going to.
that's not correct. That Proposition 4 passed.
Proposition
And
4
there's
press,
money in
but that's
the
what,
Texas Water Development Board. And as you have a regional entity, that moves you to the top of the list for grants and funding through 0% interest or low interest loans. That's how it works.
I'm just telling you what they said at the meeting.
That's your opinion of what they said. Understood.
Not an opinion, it's recorded.
Yeah, and we are actually applying already for funding on that. And again,
I'm not saying that they're right or wrong, I'm just saying what they said.
okay, that's fine. On the funding that all of the entities that join the PUA will put up front will be like a zero interest loan. That money will be paid back either through projects if you decide to join a project, or as the PUA gets up and running and starts selling water, then that money will be paid back. And it's, again, it's non-taxing entity, so the funding will be strictly through the sale of water. And, I mean, we have 100% backing of Senator Tim Parker, Representative Andy Hopper, Congressman Brandon Gill, Wise County Judge J.D. Clark, our Commissioners Court, one of our commissioners is here. We have the full backing of everybody.
Summarize for me the benefits for the customers.
Benefits for the customers is you'll have availability of more water to sell. We're not, the PUA, you know, I saw something earlier that said that, the PUA is looking for the water that you guys get out of Bridgeport. No, that's your water. That's Walnut Creek's SUD's water. The PUA wouldn't take that water. The PUA would take water that they buy from somebody else, sell it wholesale. The PUA is not going to be a retailer. So the benefits to your customers would be, and to add customers, is that as you add customers, you'd have more water to sell. And in joining the PUA, you would get the discounted price at wholesale. Like I said, the PUA is not going to be a retail organization, so the PUA is not going to take anybody's CCN, not going to do anything like that. All the PUA is going to do is sell water at a wholesale rate, and if you're an initial member of that PUA, you will get a discounted price on that water, and you will be able to join in on any projects that you wanted to do that would benefit your customers, whether that's upsizing lines, putting in new lines, or anything like that. That's going to benefit the group as a whole.
Pipeline you were talking about is gonna go from, Eagle Mountain to Bridgeport?
No, they have no plans right now to do a pipeline from Eagle Mountain to Bridgeport.
Water gonna come to us from?
From Eagle Mountain. We're looking at putting at the deepest part of the north end of the lake, and I know it's at the north end of the lake, but Tarrant Regional Water District has assured us.
What's the deepest point? That's like 6 feet?
No, it's 14 feet. 14 feet is the minimum they said that we could have our intake at. But they did approve that. It would be at the very south end of Kenneth Copeland's property, and it would be in Tarrant County is what we're looking at. But again, the PUA board hasn't even been sworn in yet. They get sworn in January the 28th. You guys have all got an invite to that. You're welcome to join us. We hope you can be there. And then it'll go from there. They'll elect president, vice president, and they will run from there. Our initial members of the PUA board are going to be people who have been invested in this from the beginning, and they'll either be operators, finance people, bond people, water attorneys, engineers, people that know what we're looking for and know what they're doing. It could be a part of the team to get this thing up and running. But what we're looking at, especially on January the 28th, is like the Upper Trinity Regional Water District, we're going to look back in 25, 30 years and go, wow, that was a huge deal, because this is a big deal for Wise County. Because if we don't do something, we're going to be in major trouble. And y'all know, state's in major trouble on water. I mean, there's cities in the state that are trucking water in now because their wells have gone dry. And everything from here west is brackish, if you can even find water in the ground.
Any other questions for Ron?
I'm good.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Kevin Burns?
Rodney has covered this thoroughly, I think. I'm just here to answer questions if you have any that haven't already been answered. I think it'll be a mutual benefit. It'll certainly be another source.
Explain to me what your role is in this team.
We're a facilitator, we're actually gonna be members. We, the county, Wise County. Been working on this 23 years to try and get surface water into Wise County other than your own and West Wise. Because 85% of our people are on groundwater. It's, they told us years ago that back during the Barnett Shale play that we're running out, we're back up to that use again, that level of use again. So we're going to be heard before long. The Upper Training Groundwater Conservation District says it will be in quite a bit of trouble in 20 years if we don't do something. We'll start feeling it in 10. There are already a few wells going dry. Some of the, not really going dry, but the neighbors next to them are pumping into the Coleman Depression and having to re-drill wells. So it's an issue. So we're just looking at any solution. And the best solution for folks in the southern end of the county that aren't served by y'all is surface water from Eagle Mountain. On the far east side of the county, Upper Trinity hasn't guaranteed us water, but they have said that if it doesn't get allocated into the Irving, Dallas area, then there's a 55 million gallon a day pipeline coming into Denton County from Lake Ralph Hall. So we could purchase it at a later date, but it'll be treated water.
Like where?
So, Lake Ralph Hall in Fannin County.
Ralph Hall.
Outside of Bridgeport, a little bit smaller. And they haven't started impounding water yet, but they'll be doing so pretty soon.
Is that east of Paris?
South and east of Paris.
Where is, Trinity,
Is the closest town, excuse me.
where is, Tarrant Regional Water District gonna get the additional water for the,
They're telling us they have sufficient supply for us for
Because-
years.
they said that it would be a temporary solution. You'll get a water treatment plant on the lake, but they would have to build another reservoir.
And what
They said it would be,
the director is telling me is, and the gentleman that does their reservoirs, that they'll be able to take care of us for a couple of decades at our current growth rate.
they said 5 years. I have the recording. I'll provide it.
That's not what the director of the board.
I'll provide that recording. Don't worry, I'll provide that recording, but they, that's what they were stating. And I'm just trying to figure out where's this other impound gonna be?
Do you have it now where we can hear it?
What did that say go to Austin? Remember? Well, my wife can ask her what day I went to Austin.
Can I add one thing while he's looking for that?
Yes.
On the ordinance or the order, what would happen if y'all decided to join is the ordinance would have to be updated by the attorneys, and all entities would have to pass.
What day did we go to Austin?
That would include you guys. You guys would have to pass the new ordinance and the ordinance update, but you can do that at the same
Say
meeting.
again?
Is that correct?
So we have to do the public comment again, right, for the new ordinance?
Yeah, we would have to have a public hearing again, yes,
Right, so it'd be like another 90 days or,
30 days. I went over it with the attorneys before this meeting.
I don't really understand that conflict because both the executive director and the operations manager have already told us that they have sufficient water.
Executive Director and Operations Manager for
Tarrant Regional Water.
Tarrant Regional Water District.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we got names on
They
them.
told us to proceed.
We have names on them.
Oh, absolutely.
thank you.
Dan
Who did you,
Buchanan.
do you know who you spoke with?
I'm looking it up right now, sir.
Yeah, Dan Booman is the
He's
general manager for the
Yeah.
Tarrant Regional Water District. He has told us that multiple times.
had lunch with him Friday.
Is there anybody above him at the Tarrant Regional Water District?
Other than the This is Doug Shaw with the Upper Trinity Groundwater Conservation District. Any questions for him?
Chair, Jim.
There's an extra one.
Thank you, Tim.
Sir, thank you, John, for your time. Appreciate your work.
Nicole. From the Tarrant Regional Water District. Does that ring any bells?
Mm-hmm.
So which
She is director of some such thing, water resources, something like that.
okay, so she isn't like a low-level employee that would just be giving me a BS answer then?
No, she's up there.
Okay, so that's the information I was receiving from Nicole.
Tell me again what the information was.
That we have about 5 years of water supply with the current impoundment when we put another water treatment plant on the lake with the PUA. They said that they would do that for you guys, put it on there. They also would expand, also too, if we decide to go with the city of Springtown, they also would expand that one too. So the two viable routes. But they did say that going with the PUA, that they would have enough water to buffer for about 5 years, but they would have to upgrade, have another impound lake to supply Eagle Mountain. That's what she stated.
Yeah, we already asked for 50-year water demand, and we gave them those numbers, and they said that they could meet that demand, and that came straight.
You named off about 3 lakes that are feeding into Eagle Mountain.
Right, but they're at capacity, that's what people said.
All I can say is Dan is her boss.
Okay,
Do we have any documentation that she said that?
I have the recording, I can provide that to you. That's what just played, I'm trying to figure out who I was actually speaking to. I'm not BSing who I'm speaking to and what I'm doing. I actually went to Austin and actually spoke with TECQ on this too.
Okay, Jane, would you like to speak now?
I certainly would, thank you. Again, Jane Galvin. Thank you all gentlemen for coming. However, here's the big issue. I speak for the water customers of Walnut Creek SUD. There are, right now, more water meters in Parker County.
You need to address them.
Oh, I'm sorry. There are more water meters in Parker County than in Wise County. Not once did I hear out of the Boyd Mayor's presentation anything about Parker County. It was all about water wells in Wise County running dry. I empathize with that. Our water solely comes from Bridgeport, Lake Bridgeport, of which we are the majority contract, and TRWD is not going to issue any more contracts. Westwise Regional, SUD buys water from Walnut Creek. So in a nutshell, we're going to be providing water to everybody in Wise County, as well as the 10,000 new homes being built in Wise County, of which a developer will be sitting on the board of directors.
That's not how it works.
Their water district will have someone representing the 10,000 home master plan community. If it's not one of the developers, it'll be somebody that's tied in. We all know that. TRWD told me 2 years ago when we had this discussion in a board meeting about Eagle Mountain Lake connection. The MLC is an 84-inch pipeline that goes into Eagle Mountain Lake. It doesn't run all year long. No, it doesn't need to, because Bridgeport feeds through down to Eagle Mountain Lake. So we have a conflict based on who's going to benefit from this. What's it going to cost Walnut Creek customers, water district customers, for the 5+ years it will take to build a water treatment plant and any other retention ponds that TRWD may require? In the meantime, Walnut Creek is putting up the lion's share of the funding. Right now, based on this ordinance, it's at 23%, which we get nothing out of, except paying for Wise County to have water because their water wells are running dry. There needs to be equity in this, because there's not. And all of I'm not stating something I haven't previously stated to the board before. Craig Ottman with TRWD, who's with Water Resources, he's the one that told me about, you know what, there are other resources that Walnut Creek SUD has the capability of getting through contracts with, like the city of Springtown, because they only use 40% of their contract from Eagle Mountain Lake. 40%. That's not very much. The growth of Parker County, especially northwest Parker County, is significantly higher than Wise County, except for the 10,000 home master plan community that's now being built. One of the issues that I have, there's several with this intent to create in the ordinance. First of all, we passed the adoption date. I think y'all have already covered that. And this was brought up in our public, I'm sorry, my hand is shaking. Section 3 still hasn't been resolved, even though we had a discussion about that at the October 30th meeting. It didn't seem to make much sense in how they were going to resolve the wording regarding any proposed change or amendment regarding the appointment method. Number or term of directors shall require an amendment to this ordinance as described in section 11 below. In section 5, a public entity may appoint an employee of such public entity to serve as director without regard to residency. So you could appoint your grandmother who lives in Illinois. Doesn't matter. There's no wording to clarify that. We brought that up in the public forum. The general powers and authorities. Ordinance substantially identical to this ordinance no later than October 31st. So we've come full circle. This is like the cat chasing its tail. And there are issues still within the document that why it's refused to be looked at, I don't know. But this statement of when the board is elected and they get together, then everything will be cleared up. And excuse me, I'm not offending anyone, but we bought that when the ACA was passed. And we bought it bad, everyone. So I speak for the water customers who are paying, and me personally, a lot of money for our water. None of y'all are water district customers. I am. So, I'm sorry. We have a standing in this, and we need to be heard, and we need to be taken seriously.
Thank you. Our attorney is here.
Yes.
Do we have any comment on the paperwork? The paperwork that we've been asked to sign?
Did he speak?
Huh?
Did they sign up to speak?
Their attorney, they don't have to sign up to speak.
I was making sure.
First, I looked at, this is all very straightforward. There isn't any issue with respect to date, the notice, the date of the hearing. I will tell you this, with respect, I've been working with James probably for about a year now, and it all stands.
Sorry, one point of order. Who is this?
Our attorney.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't know.
Procedurally, everything looks good. I look at this as a tremendous opportunity for Walnut Creek. I've been working with James. Sounds like supplies in Bridgeport are limited, and the only realistic source of supply for a large volume of water is Tarrant Regional Water District. Tarrant Regional Water District, gosh, this is probably earlier this year, signed an agreement to purchase an additional 50,000 acre-feet of water from the Trinity River Authority. That water will ultimately end up in Richland Chambers and then can be pumped uphill. So Tarrant Regional Water District is a very sophisticated entity, and they're looking at water supply from a 50-year, on a 50-year time scale. TRWD would not sign a contract for 5 years if they knew they didn't have the water.
I'm not saying for 5 years. I'm just saying that that's what they said, that they would need to start upgrading the infrastructure before 5 years came up to meet the demands of this organization.
I will tell you that
That's what she said.
in working with James, I mean, we've been talking about this, about the necessity for a regional approach. It's absolutely critical. because it's gonna lower the ultimate cost. For Walnut Creek decided to go out and build a plant at Bridgeport for its own use, it will be the most expensive water that Walnut Creek side ever buys. That's all.
You mean building a plant at Eagle Mountain? Because we already have a plant at Bridgeport.
Can you build a plant at Eagle Mountain?
No, you just said to build another, you said build a plant
Yeah.
at Bridgeport. We already have a plant at Bridgeport.
The plant needs to be Eagle Mountain.
Right, but you just said we'll build another plant at Bridgeport. You meant Eagle Mountain?
I did.
Okay, I was making sure you had. Thank you.
Any other thoughts, concerns?
Not yet.
Okay.
Leave.
Did I expire all 3 minutes?
You know what? I didn't even turn it on. I'm
I
sorry.
just have a quick question. So from the time that this is signed to the time that a water treatment plant and whatever other requirements that TRWD requires of the PUA to be able to draw surface water from Eagle Mountain Lake, where's that money gonna come from Walnut Creek? We have bond issue projects that can't be done because we don't have enough money. So I'd like to know where the money is gonna come from.
Can I answer that? That's why we've already gone out the funding to the Texas Development Board, and they've already started applying for funding from PUA.
We still
There's
have to
also
pay
some
for it.
earmarks in Congress that we're looking at, through Brandon Gill's office on funding for White County for the people.
As far as,
You know, 80,000.
as far as the bonds are concerned, Jane, that money is in the bond strictly. We're not saying Walnut Creek doesn't have money. We're saying there's no money in the bonds to finish those projects.
I understand that. We're talking about two different things, but
But you brought up the bonds.
I did, because if we don't have the money to complete bonds, how are we gonna take on this big project when we're already being asked to put up $83,000?
But like, as you said, those are two totally different things. Walnut Creek's finances and Walnut Creek's finances with the bonds are totally separate.
And we're in the hole.
Oh, we are not, I promise you. Just went over it the other day with that lady behind you. We're 16 million to the good at this point.
The report that you put in the agenda today.
I have a question for the PUA. Why is Walnut Creek putting up 25%?
That's more.
That would,
No, it's 40.
What's the percent?
It's basically, the way that it was figured was put on the number of existing connections. You can, I know you're not on the deal, but you can.
No, I can ask you to speak.
Yeah.
You don't,
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, board members. My name is John Cabrales. I'm the city administrator for the city of New Fairview. And I've had the pleasure of working with the Wise County Mayor's Coalition on this project. I'm also the guy that's been working behind the scenes with the attorney, so I've got any answers for you there as well. As it relates to the amount that Walnut Creek is putting up on this, basically it's a no-interest loan because you won't be getting your money back from the PUA once the PUA becomes solvent in being able to generate revenue. All the entities will. We put a target of $300,000 for everybody joining the PUA that we had to reach. Between the cities and the county, we're coming up with $200,000. So that was $100,000 that was left. It had to be split between the two special utility districts and the two municipal utility districts that joined. I was the one that was on the conference call with the two MUDs and the two SUDs. And the formula that they agreed that they wanted to do was based on the number of meters on how they were going to split the 100,000. Walnut Creek by far has more water meters, water customers than West Wise, than Rolling V MUD, or than U Fairview MUD. They're paying their proportionate share, but that's how the 82,000 number came to be of that 100,000 that needed to be made up between the two SUDs and the two MUDs. That answer your question, sir?
yes, sir.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
At what point is what is projected for the PUA to become solvent? At where? How are the revenues gonna be generated to make it become solvent?
You have a pro forma for this
Yeah.
PUA?
No, sir, we don't have a pro forma, but we're following the model of Upper Tree Regional Water District. When Upper Tree Regional Water District was formed about 36 years ago, it took them about 7 to 8 years before they started selling water to their first customer and started to generate revenue. Because of all the help that we've gotten from Upper Trinity, and we're not making the missteps that they did, I suspect that, and because of the progress that we've made in our discussions with the Tarrant Regional Water District entity, I suspect that we will probably be able to get this water plant operational with the infrastructure already in place, coming up to the Bobo Crossing area where we're gonna have to provide water to City of Aurora, Boyd, and Rome, which I understand there's, intake, I guess, facilities for Walnut Creek there along Bobo Crossing as well. But then, of course, Newark and, Rolling B will get their water a lot quicker because they're really closer to where the drinking plant is. The way this is gonna happen is just like any other water project that a city follows, and that is you apply for a low-interest loan from the Texas Water Development Board. They're the ones that ask you for the numbers for the pro forma. Based on who's in the project, that's how they will determine what the rates are going to be and the revenue they're gonna be able to generate and how they're gonna be able to repay that low-interest loan. And then at that point, when they finally land the loan and they start the project and they start to sell water, feasibly, we can get this water plant going probably within 5 years, if not sooner, depending on how the funding comes in from the Texas Water Development Board, which again has already been being applied for even before the board gets sworn in at the end of January. So that's how they will be able to recoup the money. And keep in mind, the money that you're being asked, just like every other entity that's doing the PUA, is being asked to front the PUA until they get operationally solvent and able to start generating money, is you will get that money back over the next, whatever, 5 or 6 years we were having to put in to keep them on the ground, keep them moving forward. When they start to generate, then you can turn around and ask them for the money back, and then they'll work out how they'll pay you back the money that you have loaned. So it's investing in the PUA.
We have a guarantee that our money is coming back.
Yes, sir, it's in the, interlocal agreement that you'll be asked to approve after you've passed the ordinance to join the PUA.
Where's the tie-in to Walnut Creek that would be tied into this water?
We have a tie-in with the line that runs down a road that is called Bobo Crossing at 730 at the river.
And this would aid in getting the water to Rome and the other cities, or no?
It comes down Bobo Crossing, it will only come into our system, and then Boyd would still, it would come from us, then they would get their part. But the others, water lines have to be ran on down to them.
The municipalities that Walnut Creek currently has contracts with?
Yes.
Okay, so those, Boyd, Rome,
We're still, yeah, we'll still be, water will
Otherwise, they would have
still
to
go
build-
through a meter, and it'll still all be,
otherwise they have to build new water lines.
yes.
If Walnut Creek was not.
Some may have to be upgraded, of course, but in the whole scheme of things, it's gonna come in.
And how much would that cost?
I can't give you an exact number on that upgrade.
The cost factor is a very important consideration.
It's not gonna be any different from new development coming up on any side of Parker County. New money.
Get in there.
Right, eye in the sky.
Gentleman from, where are you from again?
The Upper Trinity Groundwater District.
Next door.
Upper Trinity Groundwater.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any comments that would be beneficial to the board?
You'll have to yell that.
Look, I'm gonna give you a little background. I spent the first decade of my career at the Water Development Board. I've worked with water providers all over the state, and I've been here for the last almost 11 years. I'm a voting member on Region C, the Regional Water Planning Group. I'm on Region B, I'm on Region G. I've been all around for regional water plants. What I know is that when you're trying to move water to large places, it takes regional entities, it takes regional effort, right? We've exhausted the resources that are within our area, right? There's no more water in Parker or Wise counties that is easy and cheap, right? Most of the water to feed the growth that's coming is going to have to come from somewhere else, right? The most immediately adjacent entity would be Tarrant Region. They're not the only entity, but it makes sense to try to partner with them. From knowing folks there, talking to them, you know, the likelihood of Tarrant Regional, they would much rather work with one large entity, right, than a bunch of little ones. And then also, it's economies of scale, right? It's a lot cheaper to, when you're moving water from one direction this way, to have one massive line than to have a bunch of little lines. And so when you're trying to provide a resource, my thinking isn't short term, not 5 years, 10 years. It's way on out, right? Because we all hope that future generations, our kids' kids are going to be in this area. And what I know is the way development is going right now in Parker and Wise County, just drilling wells everywhere, it's not sustainable, right? We've got all the data to show that. So this water is going to have to come from somewhere. And, you know, I tell people in Parker County this, I've worked with these guys in Wise County and told them the same thing. It's the most likely way that we solve the problem to create a sustainable future is with a large regional entity working to bring water into the area and then helping disperse and treat that water, maybe treat it, maybe selling raw water, then disperse it out to the actual retail providers like Walnut Creek, like the cities, right? And so any water resource engineer, any long-term planning engineer that you talk to that looks at this situation, almost every single one of them, I don't know of a single one that would not say you need a regional solution, right? And what that really regional solution looks like is different from place to place. They've tried to create the vehicle, or they have created the vehicle. I've personally always said that Walnut Creek that the SUD is a very key piece, right? Just because of your service area, your existing infrastructure, it's a key piece to connecting all of this. So, you know, that's where I come from. We don't provide water. We just deal with the water that's under the ground, and what we see is not sustainable. There's going to have to be water come from somewhere else. And the most likely way, the most economical way to make that happen is through a large regional entity.
I got a question for you, just what, kind of related to all this going on. With that big development that's going with Reno, where are they going to get their water?
Which one?
The big development. It's got the mud district there, but where are they going to get their water?
Rolling V?
Yeah. No. Yeah, Rolling V.
Rolling V?
And Rome, me.
No, Reno.
Reno's not Rolling V.
Yeah, I don't know what.
Development that's going to
How
be,
big?
I think it's 2,800 homes.
So I'm assuming that they're going to, is it in the city of Reno? I haven't heard. Nobody's come to us and talked about that. So,
Okay, so, you know,
I know which one you're talking about.
Right.
They came to us, we do not have the water supply on that side of our,
Right.
so they,
And they were, I was talking to them, they were assuming that they're going to get it from groundwater. I said, okay, that's a bunch of,
they went through the steps of being removed from our CCN.
Right.
So now they're kind of in limbo.
right. And so this happened, right? And so it's just like the Rolling V. You know, they told everybody in the world they're going to get surface water, and now they've drilled some wells, and they just provided a report to us that we made them produce that says what they want to do with groundwater is not going to work. They're going to be out of water like that. And it's the same thing. I have no idea to us if they're going to think they're going to get groundwater. I mean, they can get permits. Now, whether or not it's going to provide for their entire system, that's to be seen, right?
Right.
But if it's that many homes, it's going to be dense development. I mean, a centralized system, probably drill a couple wells, might get them through 5, 10 years before they start having issues, and then have to start calling you guys, calling somebody else. Hey, we need emergency connection. You know, it's just like, you know, I use an example, cities of Hudson Oak, Willow Park, and Aledo. Sure, everybody's familiar with all those cities, right? Aledo started growing in back about 15, 20 years ago, they started working with the city of Fort Worth to bring in water line and purchase surface water from Fort Worth. Aledo, Hudson Oaks, and Willow Park have historically all been centralized groundwater systems, right? Their wells couldn't keep up with demand, so they spent a lot of money. At the time, they asked Willow Park and Hudson Oaks to join. They decided not to. They didn't want to spend the money. 10 years later, what happened? Willow Park and Hudson Oaks had to pay 2 and 3 times as much money to get that water, because it took another 10 years as their systems grew before their wells quit keeping up. Now you've only got a netta down there that's just based on groundwater. Same thing happened with Acton Municipal Utility District, AMUD. That system was built back in the 70s, all groundwater based. They have since purchased City of Granbury's old surface water treatment plant, rehabbed that, and they're transitioning to surface water. That's just what happens in this area, right? Is we're on the edge of the aquifer. It will not, the groundwater will not supply for dense development, right? That people are wanting to see. So they may try. Nobody's come to us and asked for a permit yet, but they're probably going to try that, and eventually they're going to find somebody else.
That's just a curiosity question on that.
Yeah. Nobody's come to us yet, so I can't answer specifically because nobody's come and submitted an application.
I have a question. You mentioned that TRWD really only wants to do business with a regional agency. What happens to the contracts that they have with, like, Walnut Creek?
I'm not with Secretary Regional, I can't speak to that.
So who do you get a bill from? Are you simply providing the pipeline? What is Upper Trinity? What purpose does it serve? To provide water, correct?
No, we don't provide water.
Okay,
We're a groundwater conservation district.
so there are SUDs and UDs out there that have contracts with TRWD to draw surface water, correct? Okay, because when you said that, it really bounces off of, Walnut Creek has the largest contract for Bridgeport. There will be no other contracts issued.
Right.
Okay.
I can't speak to that, I don't know their system.
This is simply what TRWD told me 2 years ago.
I think that contract would remain in force.
Right.
Yeah.
Contract to contract, it's not just gonna go away.
Yeah.
Well, unless they decide that they want to do business with the PUA and not Walnut Creek, since Walnut Creek is now part of the PUA.
I'm not an attorney, but that's typically not how contracts work.
It's not funny, it's serious.
Anything funny?
That was,
President, can I add one more thing? Yes, sir. There was a lot of talk about the rolling B in the 10,000 home development. They actually have, isn't it 4 Wise County Water Improvement Districts now in that development? But we're only allowing them to have 1 seat out of 14 on the board. So they have 1 vote out of 14. And there's another MUD in New Fairview that's coming in, and it's the same way with them. They're gonna have 1 vote out of 14. So to give the impression that developers are gonna control the PUA is asinine to me.
Why was it put in the rules to have somebody that could be outside the district just for that one district be on the board?
No, that's for all entities, and the reason that was done as far as the board member, because a lot of the cities and a lot of the entities that are in there have great public works directors, have great engineers on staff that do not live in that district. But we wanted to be able to allow them to appoint those people, because those are the people I was talking about a while ago that have been invested since day one. They know the existing systems. They know what's needed. We don't want to bring 14 people in off the street that don't even know what we're trying to do and put them on this board. So the initial board is going to be proposed of, even though they may not live in that district, they have to be a registered voter in the state of Texas. But same thing with, Mr. Taylor. Mr. Taylor is going to be our representative for the city of Boyd. He is our city manager, and he lives across the street from our city limits. But with the original proposal, he wouldn't have been able to be our board representative.
You have a copy, anybody have a copy of the PUA agreement?
That's for the ordinance.
No, the ordinance, because if I remember correctly, it was only exempting one entity on that one, if I read it correctly.
No, it states, public entity may appoint an employee of such public entity to serve as a director without regard to residency. That addresses the situation.
So it applies to every entity then?
Every member entity.
Okay.
That should be tightened up a little bit.
You don't want to serve?
Otherwise, somebody will, I did not say that. And I live in the
It's
water
already been
district.
approved by 13 attorneys
Well,
who signed off on it.
Then 14 attorneys need to look at it.
The language in that
States that Walnut Creek could appoint someone's grandmother living in Illinois
No.
who has water experience.
He just said there has to be a registered voter in
say that.
Texas.
Doesn't say that.
It states that the board member must reside in the territory or CCN, funding public entity, and be a registered voter. Somebody living in Illinois would not be in the CCN.
Clears that up. Is there any other comments from the open session? Y'all are fixing to not be able to talk, that's why I'm asking. Is everybody done?
We'll say thank you for your time.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks for your
information.
Item A, then the consideration, actually move forward with joining WFPUA. Make a motion that we,
I'm just gonna say, we can't actually join right now. We just have to move forward.
that's all I was gonna say.
Oh, I apologize.
I make a motion that we move forward with joining the WFPUA. Do I have a second?
I second.
Discussion. Any further discussion?
The questions I have, James, when I spoke with Perry over here, and the last meeting, he said that you had,
Barry?
Our Assistant General Manager, Perry Day.
he was in the, he was taking James Blackwood's seat last meeting. He said that you never approached Springtown.
I've spoken to,
That's what he,
I've spoken to him since that meeting,
okay.
and he said that they have no interest.
Why was it all this done and not that even looked at?
Springtown has been talked to several times in the past. There have been meetings in this boardroom with Springtown to try to integrate.
What we could do is send a certified letter from our attorney, city manager and the mayor of Springtown, and ask them if they have any desire to work with us, and that will put an end to that issue also.
Right, because I spoke with the mayor was open on it. So if there's a conflict, everyone has a fiduciary duty to make sure it's best for everybody. And even if we went with Springtown or with the PUA, we have a fiduciary duty to make sure it's the best for every one of our customers. We have to make sure that and if they're not selling, if they're eating the cost of 6% of their water, that's not a fiduciary duty just to sit there and burn money in the wind.
But also, their leftover water would not be a drop in the bucket for what we need.
But it's small. I guarantee you that. It's small.
Got a motion, we got a second.
And we're discussing. So I'm assuming there's more discussion.
Well, there's not a plan B, is there?
I mean, we are talking with the Parker County PUA, but we can be members of both PUA.
But what I'm saying is, I've been out here 40-some years, and I really think, where is all the water coming from?
So, no, there's really not a plan B, because we could join with Springtown, but that's still only gonna be two entities. PRWD wants large entities. They want to work with large entities, several entities, working together to do this, so that there's only so many water plants and so many entities they're working with. So it would be under one name, not 15 names that they're working with.
Projected.
Yeah, for years to come, yes.
Not just,
Yeah, it's not that.
not the next 5 years.
It's gonna be 5 years before we start to see anything out of it, but it's to cover this district in the future. Because otherwise, 10 years from now, we're gonna be sitting here saying, where are we gonna get water? Our district's growing, we got wells going dry, and they're in our CCN, therefore, we're required to get them water. But where are we gonna get it?
Where's the Parker County PUA gonna get their water from?
That hasn't been decided yet, but right now, we're talking about the West Fork PUA.
Are we still on the West Fork? No? Okay.
We're on discussion now.
I don't see any other option. Hey,
Yes, sir, Howard.
I've been in the water business since 2001. I spent 16 years with the Trinity River, headquartered in Arlington. They use this same model to 40 cities in the Metroplex. This sort of an arrangement is going to result in the lowest cost water for the district. The more people that are involved, the greater the economies of scale. And that's really what this is about. It's about economies. And I agree, I don't see a plan B. And I've been in the water business in the Metroplex for a long, long time.
Is there any other discussion? We have a motion and a second before the board to move forward with the PUA. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Record show vote 4-1. Thank you. Item B. Consideration and or action to approve the investment policy.
You don't have anybody speaking on this one, or is it just gonna be, start to discuss on it?
Excuse me?
There's nobody speaking on this one?
Everyone
Item
is.
B,
Yeah,
I'm fixing to find out.
okay. Have the room just cleared out.
Beverly's coming forward.
Yeah, wait for him to leave.
Get through.
Everybody's spread out.
Can you give us just a 1-minute break before we start? Thank you.
At what time? All the time?
5:02 right now, we're gonna
Okay.
take a 3-minute session here.
wastewater break, that sounds like good.
I'd like for us to say for executive session.
I would, yeah.
I'm freezing. My hands are like,
There's coffee in the back room, so. I got some right here.
Transmission fix?
You want some?
Transmission fix?
I drink coffee all day. I've got it right here.
Sorry.
An upgraded one.
Okay, I was gonna make sure it
Yeah,
wasn't the
yeah,
same.
no.
There's another one in the back.
oh, it's back here. There's one right here,
Right over there by that.
right there by the door.
Really? Yeah. Only going for it.
Oh, yeah.
There's one through that back door, Trevor.
Somebody's in there.
It's in this one too.
I was
Oh.
so privileged.
Oh, this one's open. This one's open.
Yeah, through that door.
Trevor, that gentleman's trying to get past you. Immediate left.
That'll be a. He looks familiar. Oh.
Yeah, Bo, there's always coffee back there.
Sure.
I drink about 3 pots a day.
Yeah, he has been, please,
Okay. And Keller, like.
thank you. Dickies. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's right there. I can't believe they moved.
Do what?
They moved out of Fort Worth.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I know. Got bought out, because they moved.
We'll, open it back up at 5:05. Ready? You're going to give us an overview of the investment policy?
What you have before you is the, updated version of your investment policy. That is a requirement of, government code. You are required to have an investment policy or specific requirements, things that need to be expressed in there. And you are required to review it and approve it on an annual basis. The last time this was done was in, I believe, October of 2024. So, it's a very simple policy.
What's changed since October of 2020?
Not much. There was a couple of minor changes, and I can, on page 2, where it talks about diversification, the local government investment pool, that used to say 90%, moved it to 95%. Reason for that is we've been channeling more of our investable money to Logic from Pinnacle because of the yield is better and it's on our savings and it's just as liquid. So, we're not at 95%, but it would be easier for 90, so.
Liquid isn't meaning that if we need to pull from it, we can pull from it immediately.
Absolutely, yeah. Safety, liquidity, and yield is the 3 buzzwords as far as your investment policy. Right now, we are almost 100% with Pinnacle and our ICS accounts there. We can pull from them as much as we need within 24 hours. Same with Logic. We can do same day with Logic. And that's kind of covered under on page 3 where it talks about depository. It does reference those ICS accounts. Essentially, that any excess from our checking account is invested by Pinnacle in certificates of deposit. They stay underneath the FDIC insured limit, so they farm them out. And it's a very structured program. It's been in the state of Texas for years. So there's no collateral required because there's never more than $250,000 that falls under FDIC insurance in any
One location.
institution. And it's all managed through our contract with it. So that really helps us, makes it very, very simple. We changed some of the names, updated it for current board, and honestly, that all of it has changed. There are no changes to, are required to, not required, that has to have board approval is who are your authorized investment officers and your authorized sources of investment training, because all your investment officers are required 6 hours of training within the first 12 months, and then 4 hours of training every other year. And all of your investment officers are current on their training.
I don't have any questions. Well, I read through it, looked
Who are the officers?
They're named by title. It would be finance manager, office manager, and John Bogan, our assistant office manager. We are authorized by, as signers on Logic, an investment pool. We are limited to transferring money either between the bank and Logic, and those are preset transactions, so that's the only place you can go is back and forth. Or we pay our contractors, on our bond program, we wire them straight from Logic. And again, those have to be preset, multiple, and can only.
Not just one person,
Not
you
just
stroke
one
it and
person.
check
No,
and
no,
send
sir.
it out.
No, we kind of diversified that, and when we had last year.
That's what I was getting at.
What's the check limit before board approval?
Check limit, for board approval,
I don't,
the only one I'm aware of is when it's, involves something, or writing a check, they call it to the benefit of a third person, like when we bought
Yes.
land, and it required 2 approvals.
mhm.
Yes.
2 board approvals.
As far as for paying bills,
Yeah.
vendors, that's, yes, just assets, correct.
Motion to approve it. I had no problem with it. I was making sure it was just liquid, that we could pull from it any time. You don't need to lose money on just sitting there collecting dust.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
I'll second that. Is there any discussion further? Ask for a vote, all in favor? Opposed? Motion passed 5-0. Thank you. Item C, consideration or action to approve or disapprove changes to the credit card fees. That's what you're still standing.
You're correct.
Actually, so I need to stand up, so I'm getting my money's worth. I discussed this, when we reviewed the proposed budget at the last board meeting, that it was, past time for us to take a look at these credit card fees. The current system is that we charge a flat $3 fee when somebody pays a bill or comes in and pays for a new account or new water meter, any kind of a transaction, it's a $3 fee. The only time it's different is if what they are purchasing, which is usually new meter set, or multiple, when it gets above $2,999.99, then turns into a 3% fee. And that's because,
Significant difference, $3 to $90.
yes, it's a big difference, big difference.
Is that why we've lost money?
Hmm?
Is that why we lost money on the credit card?
Well, that's one reason. At this point, as the budget was approved without making this change. I didn't wanna hedge my bet, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, our average, water bill.
7-Eleven?
Hmm?
7-Eleven?
Mm-hmm. Yes. For average water bill, a little over $100. Our credit card processing company charges us, about $7. We collect 3 from the customer. So right now, we're at about 60-40. We recover about 40% of what it actually costs us to operate and accept credit
So we
cards.
need to change this to recover those losses. Changing it to 4.73% instead of a $3 flat rate. We'll do that?
Yes.
So when I did the math on 107.11, it said with the credit card processor, utility provider, that comes out to, says it right there, $8.38. When you put the 4.73% in and the $3 fee, it comes out to only recovering $8.07.
Right. Because I just say the last part again, make sure I heard it right.
When we times the total bill by 4.73,
Mm-hmm.
it comes out to 507.
Yes.
Plus the $3
Mm-hmm.
is $8.07.
Well, there's not a that's not.
Because you're still gonna,
507 is the total that we pay Global, who is our merchant processor.
correct.
We also pay a flat fee of $1.25 that goes to our, software company.
Right, and I agree with that math right there. I'm talking about the recovery of all that. The recovery with this, the current setup that you're proposing, we're gonna be for this example, for this bill right here, we're gonna be 31 cents short.
Possibly, yes.
Why, I'm not there and saying we need to charge the customers more money, but we don't need to be setting up ourselves for another net loss.
First of all, you're talking average there. And we're dealing with two fees. One of them that's a percentage based.
Mm-hmm.
And well, it's a combination of percentage and a per item fee mixed together. And then we have the $1.25 that comes from our utility billing provider, which is a flat fee. So
These fees are not gonna go down.
not perfect, I guess, and it's not going to be, because every month it's different. When I use an average, I averaged everything from $1 to $5,000 transaction. And the way that gets split, it's never gonna be perfect. The lower the water bill,
So,
the lower their fee, they're gonna end up paying less than $3.
Right, and I was looking at multiple examples. I couldn't find an example that was a net positive
The
or even break even.
break even, actually,
You tell me that number.
break even, I used today with some updated numbers at a $133 fee. I mean, $133 water bill or credit card charge under 4.73% would result in a credit card fee of $6.29. And with the rates we have currently, with both providers, that transaction will cost us $6.29.
Okay, so they have to exceed $133 before it comes a net positive for us on the credit card fees.
Correct. We will be, the customer will get the advantage, $133 or less. Over $133, the customer will pay more. Actually, if you go back to the $3 that the customer pays now, your break point is, about,
$3.42.
yeah, $2, yeah. So,
And most of our bills are over the 133, pretty much. isn't it?
well, again,
Or-
Well, they said in,
average is
is 107.
Oh, that's right.
So, one of the reports that, for me, I asked for transactions under $5.
Okay.
And that was for early October, early November to early December.
Okay.
And we had, 2,000 under $65. Again, that would be seasonal. So it's been many years since we've actually recovered our, the $3 has covered all of our fees.
I'm for recovering the fees. I think if we're gonna do the percentage, it needs to be based on the average bill, being net zero at the average bill.
I agree with you. I honestly don't know how to get there because we can't, according to our software provider, we have to choose between a percentage fee for a fixed fee. And we don't have a lot of latitude there.
Okay, so we're not, so this bill here, so I just did the 4.73%, we couldn't have the $3 on top of that too.
No.
So, okay, so it's even worse, it's not 31 cents, it's actually even worse on the, it's,
Why can't you make the percentage what it needs to be to cover that?
exactly.
You said here that this is, I was under the understanding when I
That's what
asked you my question.
That's what I have
that
attempted
this
to do,
covers the
put it
cost.
that way.
And it doesn't.
But it doesn't.
Why don't we make it cover it?
That's,
Does it need to be 5%?
Like,
There's a mathematical
5%.
equation to figure it out.
I mean, I'm not trying to be,
No, I know what
No,
you're
I understand.
We don't
That's
need to
what's been
be-
so frustrating about this.
throwing money out.
Um,
I thought that the 4.73, it made us whole. That's all we're trying to do, make us whole.
right,
I'm
it
trying to make
will,
some,
it.
so we're at $3.31
It
short.
depends on the,
that's another 3% on a $107 average bill.
That's a lot.
it depends on the structure of your transaction. You have more large transactions than small ones,
Yeah.
because we don't pay on a percentage basis. We pay a per item fee, we pay a
Right.
discount
Let
rate.
me ask you to go back and look at all your numbers and give us, based on the current customer
Average.
bill, the average, what does the percentage need to be to cover last year's? Or this whole year?
I'd be happy to go back and look at it
And
again.
we'll just compare that to the 4.73, I think you're gonna find that it needs to be 6 or 7. So, whatever it is, we wanna be whole.
Okay,
So,
all right.
let's look at it from
I
that
will do
perspective,
that.
and we'll talk about it again.
Are we gonna table that item till?
Motion to table it until next meeting, get the correct percentage.
I'll say,
Thank you.
I don't know.
Table it to next meeting until she gets the correct number.
That's what we're doing.
I'll say aye, and then,
You have to vote on motion to table it?
yes,
All in favor?
aye.
All opposed? Item D, consideration or action to approve sign up instructions to speak.
I left an extra package on your seat. I'll direct your attention to the framed piece of paperwork up there, and it talks about speaking during open forum, the rules, things along that line, and that actually came from the Secretary of State. It's been up here as long as I've been here. So, I know it was mentioned that we needed to add some other things to that, but the Secretary of State doesn't necessarily agree with that. So I will look into that a little bit further and we'll go from there. I gave you a copy of the sign-in sheets for this month and the prior 2 months. It states on there, if you want to speak on an agenda item, you need to put the agenda item on there. Yeah, it's attached to that one you got there, Bo.
So like this one, it's,
Right here at the end, it says
you're right, what you want.
citizen forum subject or agenda item.
Oh, that's just,
Right. They did this time, but last month we had an issue because someone that signed up to speak spoke during open forum and just said they were gonna speak during the agenda item. When I got the sheet, there was nothing listed on there. So based on that and a voicemail from the Secretary of State, we set our rules. Anybody can speak, but they have to follow our procedure to sign up to speak. So she was not allowed to speak on the agenda items because she didn't list what agenda items she wanted to speak on. And I got from the Secretary of State on that since the last meeting, so
Yeah, that's good. It's in black and white, section 55.
Exactly.
1.007 expressly authorizes the governing body to adopt reasonable rules regarding public's right to address the body,
Right,
including rules that limit the total amount of time the member can address it.
Yes.
the only thing is that placard, when I spoke with TRWA, and
Okay, we aren't governed by
I know, but
anything.
they are a resource for us to give us correct information.
Right, but I go to the Secretary of our authority.
They did say that it need to be on the agenda item. And I remember also previously that these, I remember speaking to you about this, about speaking on the agenda items on every, this was initially was never here previously. Remember
Yes,
that?
it was. It's always been on there.
I'll have meetings back, I got a recording that you said that, or, you know, that they can actually speak on every line item on the agenda.
I did not know they could speak on line items of the agenda.
Oh, no, that's when I brought that up, and you said that we need to add this column to this sign-in sheet.
But it was already.
It was already there.
It's there now.
There before.
Yes.
There now.
Right.
Mhm.
Well, we follow the rules, that's all I want.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think that we need to vote to follow the rules. I think we need to just follow the rules.
Yeah, I don't see anything that needs to be changed to what we're already doing,
Right.
based on what I read in these. The next item. Update dates for 2026.
And I apologize for having the wrong years on the sheet that you got in your packet. But at your seat today, I had updated the years. All the dates were correct. The issue with this is we have 2 Monday holidays, MLK Day and President's Day in January and February, that fall on Mondays, and we observe those holidays here at the district. So I'm asking you to change those 2 meeting dates.
Oh, I did.
It's in here.
There it is.
It's this one, it was 2025, but she handed out this page.
Oh,
recently.
I got here late.
Right, here's the updated one.
I'm looking for the list of holidays.
I thought that was good.
It was a separate piece of paper she handed out. She had the wrong one in the packet.
Well, can we talk about it?
Absolutely.
Either we move it back a week or up a week,
Or move it to Tuesday.
or move it to Tuesday.
Yeah, that's at your leisure.
Yeah.
Tuesday, that way it's more evenly.
I like Tuesday
Tuesday,
of that week.
Say just move it today.
one day.
The 17th?
Do you have a preference?
No.
Do you have a
He
preference?
like to have it on Sunday. I'm retired, it can make no difference to me.
So which ones will be moved?
The 2 to the March. No, you're looking at holiday list. You need to look at the meeting list.
Okay, so it'd just be the 20th and 17th.
I'll make a motion that we move the meeting dates to the following
20th,
Tuesday
right,
of the
2 holidays.
2 meetings that are on the holidays are already set.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That was easy.
Thank you.
Item F, engineers report.
Standing in the hall.
Hey, good evening, everybody. I'm gonna be quick. The first item, or the first update that I wanted to let you guys, everybody know is the surface water treatment plant, project 537059. That project for all, I guess, is finished. They, contractor and his subs are supposed to be on site tomorrow to do the last couple of little items, and yeah.
What is that?
That's the water treatment plant expansion from 10 million gallons to 12. So,
And then we'll still have to do some testing to start using the state. And pull some samples and some different things, but the project itself will be finished.
Which number?
Exhibit A.
yes, sir. The Rest of them are just moving along, I know slowly but surely. The booster pump stations, still working to get electric service established. Tri-County is pretty slow. Encore has moved faster. So their work is done at FM 920, but the FM 51 booster pump are still Tri-County to get their stuff, and the labs for transformers and all that stuff is there waiting on them. It's just setting up them to show up and.
Them showing up is what we're down to.
And you're talking about 5370.
Got a time frame?
Okay, 060, that's the FM 920, that's Encore's electric provider on that one. They've already set the transformer, and that pump, booster pump is very.
Can we figure out why, is this gonna be his report or your report? Why are we having a topographical survey for a change order when the project is 90% complete at 10,500 acres?
Where are you at?
What's the order listed on?
Change order summary.
This project's had change orders a long time ago, but I haven't had it.
Folder 1, 2, 3, 4th page.
Okay, that's the monthly report. Yeah.
I don't get, mine doesn't look like
I
that.
would say, I mean, that change order was back when the project very first started.
Okay, so
Not
that,
a current change order, that,
none of these are current change orders?
no, we don't have a current change order.
Okay, the way it looked here was that these were all current change orders, and I was like, why are we having
Okay,
a survey at 90%?
no, that was from way back. That's, none of those are current change.
Okay.
Once you added this, the date the change order was approved, and then we had
That's Beverly's that does that report.
Yeah, Beverly puts that report together. We can have that added on there.
But these were, like I said, all these change orders on this November report, it says monthly, that's,
Yeah, those are past change orders. Those are not current change orders.
that got me kind of worried there for a minute.
Oh, I understand.
there's no change orders on projects since, right?
No, but I was just reading that, and I was just going, what the heck is,
Yeah, we know.
yeah, I hope so.
Let's see, we can go down the list. Like I said, booster pumps are really the main thing is booster pump stations and the ground storage tanks associated with them and electric. There's that stuff, and that, those projects will wrap up very, very quickly.
Ask you a question. I think I've asked you this before. I couldn't remember the answer. Project number 537066. Million. The estimated project plan was $4.5 million. Bid came in at 7.3. Variance was 2.8 million. Just curious, do you have a theory on why the bid was so much more than the estimated value?
Okay, the estimated values were done during, let me say, bond planning. So whenever we evaluated what projects, and I wasn't involved in bond planning, but I can give you my thoughts. Because the gentleman that was involved in that, and the board, and the general manager at that time, they're all not with us anymore. So those estimates were during original initial bond planning. So basically, we worked with the board, general manager at the time, to identify what projects really needed to be done and would most benefit, the district and their needs at the time. So those are evaluated, and then you put just rough cost estimates with them, or to submit the TCQ to get, figure out how much bond money you need to ask for, I guess. So at the time, that project, that was what was estimated by the engineer at that time. Then when we got to final contract documents and put this thing out for public bid,
So you don't know of anything specifically that changed that would warrant, right? Like you didn't change from a 6-inch pipe to a 12-inch pipe or this to that, or it was,
the only thing I can think of is just inflation and
There were several years between when it was originally done.
construction costs.
was it a COVID thing?
I guess that's probably some of it. I just know that, you know, my experience over the last, let's say, 5 to 7 years.
I'm just
So
asking.
when we put it out for bid, you know, that was the lowest bid.
I think the worst one on that, I think the worst one on that list would not be 6.6, would be actually 6.4.
Yeah, that was the next one, but the same answer.
All right, 6.4.
It's exactly the same thing. Project estimate was 1.5. Bid came in, variance was 2.8.
That was the elevated storage tank on
Yes.
Mr. Woody's property. Okay, let me tell you what happened on that one. So, when we planned for that project, that tank was supposed to be a typical steel multi-leg tank.
Oh, he wants it as a one stick.
Yeah, to get the property, that had to be
The property in the place, Mr. Woody put in that he wanted a concrete pedestal type tank, which is pretty much 4 times as much as your typical multi-leg steel. That's why that one blew the budget so high.
We should ask the owner next time what he.
Well, no, we did, and I took it to the board, and they told me to move forward. So, I didn't do that just.
You didn't know no, yo.
No.
Yeah, we looked for another site for that, you know, there was no. So that, yeah, that was the reason on that one. And then I guess the other water lines are being put in just slowly but surely. 537-119, the 12-inch water line on Nob Hill. Over by the contractor, he's making that final connection this week. Tomorrow, actually, yes, thank you. So that project will be finished. Once he makes that connection, all you have to do is pay, disinfect, test, and that project is finished as well. And then 30 days. F-51, 064 tank, so that tank there, slowly filling up. Or two lifts now, and they've been basically pouring a lift every 2 days.
Okay.
Depending on temperature, I don't think they poured anything today.
What do you think you're gonna bore underneath the highway?
That is being worked on. We had to talk to Mr. Woody about temporarily taking down some fence.
He gave us permission.
He gave us permission to take down some fence. So the contractor get his boring machine up.
You didn't write him? You didn't write him?
It was between the contractor and Mr. Woody. We weren't involved in that. That was between the contractor and him.
That bore is supposed to be taking place pretty soon.
Okay, thank you, Trevor.
Yes, sir.
Good job.
Okay, no legal professional reports, I'm assuming. General manager's report.
Trevor went over the bond project. I know this looks like a very low number on new meter sets. Usually we set about 40 a month. They've been slower coming in, and we've also been working on getting ready for our, audits, getting everything in place, getting everything so that when they come walking in, they don't have to search for things. We've been ready for the audit, and we've been, repairing some other items that needed to be repaired, such as flush valves. We had some fire hydrants and those sort of things. So with the slowdown on the meters this month, we used that time to do other repairs that needed done. 4 water leaks that required a boil water notice. As I say, 8 flush valves. We had 7 other water leaks that didn't require a boil water notice. We're able to repair them without shutting the water down. So this year we've changed out 836 meters. We've set 443 new meters. We've set 2,515 MIUs. Those go on meters that are already existing in the ground to get the signal out. We've done 6,699 locates, 7,008 service orders, 53 water leaks requiring a bore water notice, 47 water leaks not requiring a bore water notice, and 122 miscellaneous service line or meter box leaks. Our phones ring all day with little things.
Cover the meter status.
Meter status, Terry? Sorry, sir.
My name is Perry. I'm the assistant GM. For the meter project, there are roughly 200 meters left in zone 4 to be changed out. And that zone will be completely AMI. Zone 2 has 1,700 MIU left to be changed out and roughly 230 meters to be replaced. And once these two zones are finished, our whole system is AMI.
Pleased with it?
Yes, with the progress?
Or pleased with the system?
Yes.
Okay.
What about the electronic, valves did we ever put it in for the flush valves and stuff, automatic?
No, we do.
We haven't
Well,
done
I
that?
take that back, we do.
We do
Yes.
have one?
No, we've got several. I don't know how many automatics altogether.
Dang.
Out of the 500 flush valves that we have.
Yeah, there's.
Or more.
Huh?
It's 500 additional.
Yeah, 500, okay, I'm sorry, 500 additional plus 300 that are autos. 300 and how many?
10.
10.
So do you actually go out and monitor when you flush, or you flush it remotely?
So they're set up on an irrigation timer. So like every night around midnight, they'll go off for like
Once a
10,
month.
15 minutes.
They come on once a month, not
Yeah.
every night.
It really depends on the area and the usage for that area. And then, yeah, we have a crew that goes out and checks them once a week.
Make sure they're not just
batteries and anything like that, any repairs.
Oh, yeah, and they pull samples while they're there to make
Maybe
sure.
for a water sample.
Yeah, we pull samples
Yeah.
from all of our dead end areas, get water samples pulled. They have to be by TCEQ standards.
Thanks, Barry.
Thank you.
We'll now recess for closed session at 5:41. According to Texas Government Code 551.074, 551-072, and 551.071.
Gotta get that thing out of here.
You want